Syrians are burning Israeli flags after recent Israeli strikes which killed many. And tonight, the scene in Damascus tells a story of anger, fear, and a region on edge. What you're looking at is part of a protest that erupted on November 28, 2025, right in the heart of Damascus. It started just minutes after Friday prayers at the Umayyad Mosque. Crowds poured into the streets, chanting and demanding answers after an intense night of Israeli airstrikes and a ground incursion in the town of Beit, Jinn, near the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Videos shared across social media, mostly on X, show people surrounding burning Israeli flags, while security forces stood by watching as anger flowed through the crowd. Similar demonstrations were reported in Homs, all framed by Syrian state media as a show of national unity in the face of what they called ongoing Israeli aggression. So what sparked this sudden wave of emotion? According to Syrian reports, Israeli forces conducted an overnight operation between November 27th and 28th, pushing into Beit Jinn with ground troops, helicopter support, and drone strikes. The result was devastating. 13 people killed, including children, 25 injured, many from shelling on residential areas, dozens of families fleeing their homes as clashes intensified. Residents reportedly confronted Israeli troops entering the town, leading to exchanges of gunfire. Israel later stated its forces acted in self-defense against what it described as armed militants operating inside the buffer zone established by the 1974 disengagement agreement. 6 Israeli soldiers were wounded. Syria's foreign minister condemned the attack as a criminal aggression meant to destabilize the country during its fragile transition period following the collapse of the Assad regime the previous year. And this wasn't an isolated incident. Throughout 2025, Syria has accused Israel of repeatedly violating the buffer zone agreement, citing more than 24 airstrikes targeting military sites, infrastructure, and alleged weapons depots. Israel's official stance has consistently been that these operations are necessary to protect the Golan Heights and prevent hostile forces from rearming, especially near Druze communities, whose relationship with both Israel and the new Syrian leadership remains complicated. The political landscape inside Syria adds even more layers. The country is now governed by an HTS-led interim administration, struggling to maintain order while dealing with internal ethnic tensions, especially in the south, where some Druze communities have openly protested the new government and even displayed Israeli flags in rare symbolic acts. But the scenes from Damascus tell a different story, one of widespread frustration and the fear of escalating conflict. The protests also come as Syria tries desperately to rebuild, following partial sanctions relief granted earlier in the year. Officials there argue that continued Israeli strikes are slowing any chance of real recovery. Reactions pour in across the region. Iran condemned the attack immediately. Arab Gulf states warned that the strikes threaten regional stability. The US and EU urged restraint, focusing on Syria's fragile political transition, and the UN once again highlighted the importance of maintaining the 1974 buffer agreement. For now, no major clashes have followed the November 28th violence, but tensions remain high along the border. And for many Syrians, the burning of the Israeli flag is more than just symbolism. It's a message of defiance, a moment of unity, and a reminder of how fragile the situation remains on both sides of the Golan Heights.
Subscribe to Oneindia and never miss an update. Download the Oneindia app now.